What's going on, guys? It's your boy K-Aus bringing you guys another video. Today I'm bringing you guys probably the finishing video for the nickel 3-3-5 defense that I've been bringing you guys, and it's going to be the coverage adjustment video. So I know you guys really like the coverage adjustment side of nickel normal, so I'm going to show you guys what you guys can do out of this 3-3-5, both when you're sending 3 and when you're blitzing. So I'm just going to jump through and kind of just roll through it, just kind of go off my head. I have some stuff in mind that I like to show you guys, but just kind of free ball it, man. Honestly, just kind of what I like to do in game. So I'll just use Pat's Y off trips. This is good. Let's move it. So let's move it down, give it some space. But so here's we'll just set up the 3-man first. We'll just go through the shed stuff. So you want auto flip on when you're running this defense. And I wouldn't baseline. I like to just do regular press, but you can baseline. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the blitz or anything like that. But so if you have auto flip on, it'll have this nickel. So when you do send them, usually opposite the running back. But it doesn't really make too much of a difference if you don't want auto flip on. You want to just adjust the same way over and over. It doesn't matter too much. I like it that way, but it's personal preference. So first and foremost, kind of my base defense right now. This is probably my favorite thing to do. If you guys watch me on stream, this is what I like to do pretty much every single time I see a trips. So if there's a trip side, this is what I do. I would hard flat my nickel, deep quarter this outside guy, and deep quarter this guy. So I basically make it a cover 6. And then since you're sending 3, I'd probably spy the middle guy here and just kind of use my mid read myself. But if you guys want to do the mid read and spy this guy, you could do that too. Doesn't really make a difference. And you have essentially a cover 6. You have a cover 2 on the left. If you want to shade down, that's cool too. And then a cover 4 to look on the right. Now the reason why you might say, well, first off, they don't have a cover 6 in 3-3-5, at least that I could find. But secondly, even if you call cover 6, it's usually going to match. So I don't want the matching concepts. I want the cover 6 just made on my own. And that's probably my favorite thing to do. That keeps any bombs from happening, so you can't bomb these 2 deep quarters. And then you have, so like if they put this guy on like a crosser or something and they don't push back the deep blue zone on the right, like you could take away that. So they would have to fade circle. So if they faded hill at R1, this guy would take it, and this deep blue would still play the crosser pretty well. So I like that. And then if they do a corner route from the right side, that deep quarter is going to play it pretty well. So that's probably my base defense against trips. And then some other things that you just do to mix up. So just reset it here. You could always just keep your cover 2 shell and do this, and you can use the mid read, and just you have a hard flat cloud flat on the right, and then maybe if you want deep blue here. I know that gives a lot of people some trouble. You could always do that. Reset here, and something that I know gives some people trouble is, heck, you could do this. Do the crossman defense, deep half, maybe hard flat this guy, do this. Play defense like this. Then you have the mid read, maybe you can spy this guy. Spy here maybe. Do whatever you guys want to do. I know that gives people a lot of trouble. Sorry that I didn't go to a deep half. So like that. You can always do that. It's really there's endless opportunities you can do when you send 3. To be completely frank with you. If you want to send 4, which is also a possibility too with the sheds, you can go middle linebacker deep blue. Or something else you could do here is, if you wanted to send 4, I've been doing this a lot lately too. So essentially, you leave the entire left side of the field. So you have the mid read, the vert hook, the hard flat on the left, and the deep half. So essentially, the left side of the field is kind of taken away, unless they have a crosser or a post getting over there deep. It's pretty much taken away by the zones themselves. There's not going to be much open over there. If you wanted to shade up and maybe even do hard flat, cloud flat with a mid read, or yeah, something like that. You could do that too. And then you're sending 4, and you have the whole right side yourself. So if they do a flat over there, you just sprint out there. So I can just kind of show you that real quick. I'll hike a play, and yeah, I'll just do an out route, a streak here. So that's perfect. I'm gonna try to do this with 2 hands. But so say you're holding this gap, and you just run right out there. So like you see, I just baited out there. If you sprint out there just like that, and they see that there's no zone, they might just throw it right at you. So it's just something else you could do. But yeah, so when you're sending 3 or 4, there's really endless things you could do. if you wanted it, so if you weren't playing at trips and you wanted to deep half here, I mean deep quarter here, you could do this, just like that. So against spread sets, I don't like to baseline spread out sets like this. But if it's a compressed set like bunch, and we'll jump into bunch right now, probably. I do like to baseline, and I'll show you guys that right after this play. So that's just something else you guys could do. Just kind of freelancing through to show you guys different things that you could do, honestly. My favorite thing is that cover 6 I showed you at the beginning. But let me show you guys the compressed set like bunch now. So essentially this is the way I like to guard gun bunch. I do like to baseline, and then I like to do my deep quarters. So I showed you guys before, the deep quarters take away the deep corner routes. So because if they fade Conley, Barry's going to stick it, and then he'll just still be waiting outside for the corner route. So something I like to do, just like before, like I told you guys, the cover 6 look. Maybe spy this guy. I love this cover 6 look. It's probably my favorite look in the game right now. It's honestly my base defense at a 3-3-5 odd and 3-3-5. But if you want to send 4, you could do this. Do the same thing I just taught you. So if say they were running this play with Kelsey in the flat and they hike it, you know, I'm flat out there. You're out there. You're going back to the C route, just lurking around, just taking the whole flat yourself. That's something I like to do. If I wanted to send 4. So go back. Keep this deep half. If you wanted to do this, so say you wanted to spy this guy, and you wanted to take away, so the mid read will take away a drag. So if they drag, or this is actually perfect too. So right now, the way my defense is set up, they could instant throw that post on the cut. And if you didn't want to do that, you could do this, hook curl here, deep quarter here. But if you were worried, honestly, bunch has a hard time attacking that open area right there. The only way they could do it would be like from like wide receiver post or bunch trail or something like that, which is rarely ever called. But if you're worried about that, you could do this instead of the deep quarter, move them back in deep half, and then you just don't even have to worry about that flat. Just assume that they're not attacking that flat. And if they do send a drag over there, you just like to drag yourself. So that's just something you could do. So if you were like this, basically, or you could even do this and lurk on this guy here, and essentially the whole left side's you. So if they do the running back out there, you're on the running back. So something they might do is this. So if they do like wheel curl or whatever, and then the whole right side's taken up by your other side of the defense, so you're not even worried about that, and you're on the left side. So if they hike it, okay, I have the running back, I'm on the curl, and just letting that right side do its job. So that's another thing you could do. It's another really good adjustment. But essentially, I mean, really, guys, you just got to embrace it. And you don't even have to stay in this Tampa 2. So you could go in here and you could call anything you want. You can call cover 3 sky drop, cover 3 double buzz. So this is actually a good one to jump into really quickly. So this is one of the more annoying defenses I would say to play against. So say they come on and wild trips pats. You set the defense, right? I'd say you user this guy, and then you have the two yellows here, and then you probably deep quarter the outside guys, do something like that. So you have the 2 yellows, and you just let your middle linebacker play in this deep blue, and you kind of go to work. That's just another option for you guys. Like I said, there's endless things you can do from this. Since it's send 3 most of the time, you can get really creative. And just mixing your coverages really well. But when you're sending 6, let me jump into that really quick. So when you send 6, you want to get a little bit more aggressive. So let's go to wild shift pass again and kind of show you guys what I would like to do if I was getting aggressive. So if we're sending everybody here, sorry, I grabbed the wrong guy. I forgot I have auto flip on. So you would do this, and then you can start getting risky. So say they haven't been attacking the left flat at all, right? A lot of the time they'll just block their running back, and then maybe they'll drag square or something, right? So you could do this, and they really have no way of attacking that that area where that is, because if they streak Conley, the deep quarter takes it. He would have to be on a deep post, which I don't even think they have. So this is your defense right here. You can get risky like that. So if you reset here, that's one option. Another option would be to do this and just say to yourself, okay, the whole right side is mine. So I probably wouldn't hold that gap the way I usually do. And I would just say, okay, now I'm looking for any flat routes to the right when they hike it, right? So if Hill's on an out route, Kelsey's on a flat or an out route or a zig or something like that, that's what I'm first looking for. And if they don't have that, then I work my way back to the middle of the field. So say they don't have a what am I trying to say? What if they don't have an out or a zig, right? So that's what I'm looking for. They hike it. Okay, it's not there. I'm on the drag. I'm bouncing back, and then I'm just starting running around. So since the flat is my responsibility, I go there first. But since there's nothing in the flat, now I can lurk back to the middle of the field, and I send 6 at you, and you're sacked. So essentially, guys, that's really what it is. I try to give you guys as many different coverage adjustments as I can. I'm not playing the game, so I'm not seeing what my opponent's doing and I have to take away. But I showed you guys a lot of different things that you could do if they're not attacking the flats, if they are attacking the flats, if they're sending out a 6, if you're sending 6, what you can do to get creative. There's lots of different things you can do. What you really just need to get down to is where is your opponent attacking you and how do you take those away and what zones work. But as a base coverage, I do love that cover 6, especially against trips. If there's a trip side, I like to make the cover 6 hard flat, deep quarter, and then on the isolated receiver side have a cover 2 with a deep half and a cloud. But that's how I really like to play defense right now. It's probably my favorite thing. If you guys watch my stream, you can see me do it. I do it pretty much all the time. And I hope you guys will embrace it. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section. But take it easy, guys. Peace.